Fellas, what are the instant turnoffs you have had while on a first date with a chick and vice versa? Give me biggest turnoffs and turn-ons.
I loved the girl. She was exactly my type. She knew just how to keep me thinking about her. She was driven to make money, but she also was a nympho and was fire in the sack, pressed all my buttons. But she lived in filth, had garbage everywhere, cockroaches and bedbugs all throughout the house, mountains of dirty dishes stacked in the kitchen from months ago that reeked of rotten food. I made the slightest suggestion that it wasn't healthy and could breed disease and wasn't really keen on putting a baby inside a woman who lived in squalor. I told her if she moved in, I had minimum sanitation standards with which I wasn't willing to compromise, and she would have to clean up after herself. She got so pissed off that she stopped talking to me. I'm sorry, your Nurgle worship got in the way of our feelings for each other.
Story 2.
She kept talking about how bad men are, how oppressed she is as a woman, while bragging that she made more money than her male colleagues. She said that I was given everything in my life due to male privilege, even though my path was not easy at all in life. She asked if I was a feminist, and I said I support equal rights for everyone regardless of race or sex. She then told me I needed more education and that she was going to text me articles. I honestly thought it was a prank by that point. But nope, there are actually women like this in the world.
Story 3.
Biggest turnoff was the girl who would laugh at my dumb jokes so incredibly loud that it would make the entire restaurant go silent. It was straight lunacy. I barely even made jokes. She would just think whatever I was doing or saying was so funny that she'd belly laugh and cause a scene. The biggest turn-on was the girl who at the end of the night looked at me before she got out of my car and asked if I was coming into her house. I asked if she was sure about it, and she responded with, "Don't you want to see what color panties I'm wearing?" They were dark green.
Story 4.
Went on a date once with this Brazilian girl. She wanted to go eat somewhere. Suggested some restaurant, but she declined and said she wanted to go at a 50s-style hamburger joint. We go in there and she orders a chili dog, a massive plate of loaded French fries and an extra large soft drink. I just ordered a soft drink, but she was scarfing the food down like a wild animal, and it was a total turn-off watching her eat like that. After she ate, we go outside and I said I'd like to call it a night cause I'm not feeling well. It was raining and she started complaining about getting wet. I had an umbrella with me and told her to just take it. She then says, "Okay, I'll give it back when I see you again." I just said okay, left and never called her again.
Story 5.
This one girl gave me a blowjob in her car on the first date. She gagged and threw up while doing so. Granted, she did have the tenacity to try and finish the job. The big nope for me was when she insisted that I pay to have her car detailed afterwards. Like, she didn't even ask if I would help clean it up or with the cleaning. She straight up demanded that I pay the $200 or whatever to have her car interior deep cleaned. I will admit that she was very enthusiastic with the blowjob, both before and after she vomited in my lap.
Story 6.
Vice versa, as in ladies' turn-offs with a guy? If so, I once went on a date with a guy who made several anti-Jewish comments and then took a penny out of his wallet and threw it on the ground. I asked what he was doing and he said, "I just wanted to see if you would pick it up." So yeah, didn't think I would have to say this, but anti-Semitism is a pretty big turn-off. Side note, I am not even Jewish. Aside from the basic turn-offs of homophobia, racism, xenophobia, etc., being a bad storyteller is a big turn-off for me. Someone who just drones on and on, I can't handle it. Turn-ons include genuine kindness, good sense of humour, respectful attitude toward me and everyone else, including server bartender, of course.
Story 7.
I value good manners and respect, but it's a turn-off when someone doesn't contribute on a date or flirts with others in front of me. Breaking plans without a valid reason, poor hygiene, and dominating conversations are also deal breakers. On the flip side, I'm drawn to confidence, openness about relationships, and someone who dresses well for themselves. Accepting compliments gracefully, maintaining respectful friendships, and appreciating each other's efforts are qualities that make a connection worthwhile.
Story 8.
Female here. Had a guy I went on a date with. Things were going well. We're both fairly young adults, like 18 to 20. So, we didn't have much money and we went to Sonic. Awesome. I offered to pay for mine, made sure I brought enough for me. He said no, he got it, he paid, and we started eating. He popped up with, "Since I paid for your meal, will you sleep with me and my buddy?" What he said was off, but the way he said it and the way he looked. I don't scare easily, but I immediately bailed out of his car and took off rubbing across traffic and into Walmart across the street. After that, I won't let anyone pay for me. I've had some men that press the issue after that. Some still fout me on it, and those dates I immediately ended, far more understood, and didn't press and let me pay my portion.
Story 9.
She told me that in the zombie apocalypse, or any mild, everyday inconvenience that could occur, her first instinct would be to immediately unalive herself. Not talking to me first, not saying goodbye, and even if we had kids dependent on us. She explained that she could not live a life without delivery, streaming, electricity, or modern healthcare, no matter how temporary. You know, things that could happen any day of the week. Power goes out, do I need to worry about her jumping? She was baffled why there wasn't a second date. Asked me for feedback and where to improve like it was a fucking interview. I politely declined.
Story 10.
Went on this date and the girl was stuck to her phone the whole time. Like, seriously? Felt like I was just there to keep her phone company. If the phone is more interesting than our chat, it's a clear sign things won't work out.
Story 11.
Lying or feigning innocence. I don't care if you are a horn dog and just want to be plowed like a midwinter Minnesota road, but don't act like the Virgin Mary and call other girls whores just based on their looks, but then let a random dude fuck you in the bar parking lot. I have this opinion on guys as well. Don't go acting like you just want to settle down with someone special, but then play every girl in the place.
Story 11.
Not having ended your previous relationship. This happened to me on 3 separate occasions. Prior to dating each of these women, I was cheated on, then dumped. I asked my, at the time, recently ex-girlfriend why she started dating before breaking up with me and she never answered. I haven't spoken to her since. Then these other women. The first one introduced me to her boyfriend as Such. We had been dating for 2 months, they had been together for almost 2 years. I broke up with her there and then, right in front of her boyfriend. A week later they had split up too. The other 2, I found out through her friends that I was the side guy. I did the same thing both times, told her friends that I would not date someone who was still in their previous relationship, and had them relay the message. If you're going to cheat, just break up.
Story 12.
I love to party and have fun means I have low IQ to me. It also means I leak money and will expect many frivolous purchases from you. I'm particularly nervous of women who take cues from magazines, movies, and television. Also, from a man's perspective, 32 is past prime. Men tend to think of women in their 30s in the same way as you would think of a chubby guy. Are you refined? Do you have class? Do you read books? Can you maintain an intelligent conversation? Are you crude? Are you in good shape? No to any of those things, to me, is a huge turnoff for any kind of serious relationship.
Story 13.
What sets me off really quick is when women move too fast. I know from friends of mine that they feel the same. When I start dating a girl, I don't want to make relationship-y commitments early on. I am a man and I need the illusion of choice. That is, I want to decide when it becomes a deep and intimate relationship and stops being a fling. That being said, I don't think this means the girl should eliminate all things emotional, but rather convey these things more subtly. I don't know if you are even doing this, but for me, this used to be a major turnoff. I need the hunt and the feeling that I achieved something by seducing a girl and even convincing her of being my girlfriend. Whenever someone would start making me cookies early in our common history, call a lot, and start telling me things that were just too damn personal for the time being, it would raise a red flag. Sometimes this hints at sheer desperation, loneliness, and sometimes it indicates someone is legit crazy. However, if I have to put some more effort in and can get to the emotional level in my own time, I am much more at ease with it. A good way to overcome this would be to keep the emotional stuff mostly non-verbal and rare, yet intense. Don't come running to hug me every time we meet. Don't tell me what you see us doing 2 years down the line. Compliment my behavior or body rather than telling me how I make you feel. It will have the same effect, but I will be the one figuring out what it means. I hope this is clear. No disrespect to all the emotional men out there. It's just how I rolled before I met my girlfriend.